Hello again there, everybody. This is going to be Jund League number 43. Playing the exact same list as in League 42. The changes that I had made between 41 and 42 are mainly in the sideboard. I cut down to one copy of Huntmaster of the Fells in favor of a third Cleansing Wildfire. Going up on this card was a viewer suggestion. And I've also swapped out the 2 Nile Spell Bombs for 2 copies of a Soul Guide Lantern. Nile Spellbomb has the advantage over Soul Guide Lantern in that you can exile the opponent's graveyard while getting the card. Soul Guide Lantern, you can still get the card off of it, but it won't involve exiling the opponent's entire yard. So that's obviously a pretty significant drawback, but the pretty significant benefit is that it doesn't target the opponent when attempting to exile their graveyard. This is extremely relevant versus the newer Oops All Spells deck that's trying to go off using either the All Spells Rituals version or the one that just tries to mill a bunch and then have their Narcomoebas come back, and they sack some Swords of the Meek to get back a bunch of Vegevines eventually and then kill you that way. If they have one of their 4 main board Leyline of Sanctities, Nile Spellbomb will not be effective at combating them. But since Soul Guide Lantern does not target, this will be effective versus them. What's up, Snapcaster? So we're still playing the 6 1-mana hand disruption spells, and we're still playing a smaller than usual number of 1-mana reactive stuff. So like the proactive stuff, we've still got the 6 copies, but then in reactive stuff, just 2 bolts and 3 pushes. And the idea with, again, playing such few reactive cheap cards while playing a few extra top-end cards is that if we're going to be playing a bunch of Uro and combo decks where the removal isn't necessarily good, I want to invert the curve a little bit to give me better mid to late game while sacrificing a little bit of my early game, which doesn't matter as much versus all the mid-range piles that are running around right now. So if we're playing against anything hyper aggro, we can expect to maybe lose a few percentage points, but I expect to gain a few percentage points versus everything else. So let's take a look at the current modern metagame, as we usually do with all of these ads. Alright, so it's a lot of ads. Alright, so we've got Uro piles still in at first. A pretty surprising shift is Rakdos Death Shadow finally got dethroned as its usual second place, being subverted by a blue-white control. Humans still in at 4th, Death and Taxes still in at 5th, and we've got a lot of these mainstays, a lot of the modern mainstays that have been around for a while. Dredge even seeing an uptick actually. So usually I don't go past the top 15, but we have to find our hero Jund. Hey, we actually moved up the spot. We are now 20th, I believe. 7 rows each. What was that? Oh, James, thanks for the resub. I appreciate it. Welcome back. Doing well, doing well. Alright, so that was, I guess, the modern breakdown, metagame breakdown. Let's jump into the league. Oh, we are playing Constructed today. Okay. Your 3-month streak. Sweet. Much appreciated. Oh, and Destazo says, woo, finally catching a live stream. Welcome, welcome. Sounds pretty good. The mana situation's a little slow when we've got some top end, so we're gonna have to get lucky and draw some lands, and there's one of them. Excellent. Alright, so I'll lead on Blood Crypt here because I've got plenty green. Obviously when I get black now. So I expect this is Stoneblade just based off of Flooded Strand, but we're not going to have to wonder for too long. Yep, it is. Pretty unfortunate. They've already got their better equipment, the two of their three equipment. I don't actually know that they're playing another one. And their Teferi is going to be very strong versus me, because if I want to play Dark Confidant on 2, they can just Teferi bounce it. I think I'm actually going to take the Teferi, because like, there's no guarantee they even have another equipment, and I've got the Bolt to take care of the first thing. So yeah, it's a strange take. If they didn't have either of those equipment in their hands, I think I would take the Stoneforge. But given that they've got pretty much all of the equipment that I'm scared of already, I think it's okay to let them have it. And I'm going to have to take the turn off to bolt this anyway, because I don't want them flashing in a Batterskull. Goyf is nice. Alright, they got a Fire and Ice, but that doesn't really matter a whole lot. The plan remains unchanged. Alright. I'm out of removal. But, should be okay. I mean, as long as I don't have creatures to carry their equipment, none of these cards do anything. I guess that's... Batterskull does something. Alright. Sword. Yep. Sword are good. Liliana would be very strong, but we don't actually have the mana source. Let's get the Dark Confidant down. Definitely want to get the resources flowing before just putting it in a generic beat stick. Alright, and then a black source would be pretty big, because I would love to be able to play the Liliana. No guarantee it resolves, but I'd still like the option. Alright, and they could flash in a Snapcaster. Fatal Push actually a pretty good draw though, because if they put in a Batterskull, we can keep the creature off the table. So I'll leave Blood Crypt up after playing the Tarmogoyf that the opponent now knows about. It's going okay. Going okay so far. May need to be careful about a potential Supreme Verdict. Ooh, that could carry a sword. So, I think I'm going to let them commit the mana to the Shark before pushing it. Like, because if they just play Batterskull here, then I might want to just push the Germ. We'll just see what happens, but I like making them commit some amount of mana first. Alright, this would give it pro black, so I have to do it now. And if they counter this, it's unfortunate, but like, we can deal with that. Like, they'd be able to untap their lands and potentially defend versus a Liliana. But I mean, half of their hand is just more equipment. And they didn't play their other swords, so that might be an indicator that they have something. Alright, we revealed the Verdant. Pretty nice. Alright, I'm just gonna lead on an attack. I mean, I could just slam a Bloodbraid first. How does that sound? This is a 6/7, this is 8. We're hitting them for at a minimum 11. They have to do something. Yeah, I'm gonna slam Bloodbraid here. There are Path to Exile decks, so there's an argument to not getting basics. But yeah, I think getting 2 basics versus this opponent is probably fine. My life total may end up coming up if they have various removal spells to defend. But yeah, I like just slamming the haste creatures and really put some pressure on them. All right, well, we hit a worst case, unfortunately. We still got to attack for a bunch though. Interesting that they're allowing us the cards off of the Dark Confidant. Alright, I'll get the Mountain. If I draw a black spell and I want to play a black spell, I'll have the Peatland as the 3rd black source if I want. Alright, so looking good so far. Yeah, if I were the opponent, I probably would have gotten rid of the Bob. Right, so this is probably a Batterskull. And if they Batterskull, we can Liliana just to get the Germ out of the way. They'll still have access to the Batterskull. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I didn't really want to shock. It's kind of free to not shock. We revealed Verdant again. Alright, well, if it comes down to where we want to start plussing, I'm going to be plussing and discarding the Verdant, so I'm okay getting the Peatland in now. Get the Germ out of the way. Remember, they are drawing a Path to Exile. So, given that they're drawing Path to Exile, we don't have to be afraid of them drawing a Supreme Verdict. So I should be pretty safe just deploying more pressure. I mean, any 1/3 is lethal. Let's put in the Ooze. We have a green for it. Alright, Stoneblade. This is an interesting one. Bitter Blossom going to be good. Ashock should be good for preventing the searches. The opponent is a Snapcaster deck, probably. I don't know how good Soul Guide's going to be. Like, if I were playing Nile Spellbomb, that would almost definitely come in. Oh, yeah, thanks for reminding me, Record Bot. I do have to change my record. Alright, Huntmaster is going to be good as a grindy tool. I do want to make sure that the opponent doesn't have anything to attach their equipment to, so Brutality can be nice for killing Stone Forges, and then it hits things like Cryptic Command, whereas Inquisition does not. This has me needing to cut 5. Keeping the K commands to kill the artifacts for sure. Don't think I need 3rd Ooze here. I like the run in 6 is a decent amount. I'm going to cut Terminate. I've got plenty of other removal spells, and this is the only one that is only ever a 1-for-1. I mean, so is this stuff, but it costs half the mana. I need 3 more cuts. Yeah, maybe I should just cut one more Fatal Push. I do like the bolts in this matchup because they can finish off Planeswalkers. There's not really a lot that they can't push. I'll cut a Goyf. I expect this to be a resource match more than who has the biggest creature match. And then I do need to cut one more. I could just cut another Tarmogoyf. The issue is I like having the early creatures to really make sure I can pressure the Planeswalkers. Maybe on the draw I can cut like one Liliana. Project stuff is still going well, James. We're in the next phase. Everything is group work now, so our next big section's due in like 2 weeks, and we haven't even gotten the instructions yet. So we're chilling for now, waiting for the storm to pop back up though. Sounds good. Alright, the opponent has also mulligans very kindly. Alright, I think I'm just going to take the Archmage's Charm simply because it's the only multi for one in the hand. I don't really care too much about spot removal. Archmage's Charm is definitely just the most powerful thing. There's an argument to taking the spot removal because I have second Inquisition, and therefore it's probably easy to actually stick something under it all. But I like taking the most individually powerful card, and then maybe I can save this Inquisition for later. It's like I don't really need to use it now. Like, it would definitely take something. But, like, my mana is not even tied up next turn. I think the only way that not casting this now bites me is if I draw a 3-mana Walker, and then there's something I really want to get down. Maybe for that reason I should just fire it off. Because like getting a 3-mana walker into play does seem pretty excellent. Like I would love to save it to pair with something powerful later. But this also seems fine. And I'll take the path because I could always just like, if I have a Dark Confidant or something, I don't even have to attack with it for it to be good. Condemn means it has to attack. So if I got a Bob, I just like won't attack with it. They shocked. Okay, that could mean more Archmage's Charms. It could even mean Spell Queller. Although I don't know that the opponent would be playing Spell Queller against the mostly removal deck. But yeah, three mana walker would be best case. More lands, not ideal. Alright, so the opponent is plussing. I'll let them make their decision here, and then I'll Kolaghan's command to have the opponent discard and shock the Jace, and then the Blood Rage should be able to finish off the Jace, which will work nicely. And they put the card on the bottom. We know their card is condemned, so this is not going to be force plus something. They discarded the condemn. Alright. So, they don't know what we're drawing, which is just another land. Let's take a land out of the deck. Alright, best case here would be another creature. Excellent. That might have been the best case. Because they're going to have to do something about that very immediately. Field of the Dead work? No. Alright, we got a Bob Trigger off. I feel on top of the world. They did miss a land. Alright, we revealed Blackleaf Cliffs. I guess I'd rather just like sack the peatland now, maybe hit something. I'll attack first. If I draw a Bloodbraid, I can't cast it immediately anyway. And I do want to do it now because I would love to draw something I can play. Shark Typhoon. Brutal. Alright, that'll trade with Bob. I could have played around that. Alright, I'll leave up double black for sure in case I hit Liliana, but we don't. Yikes. Oh, and we know that the opponent has Archmage's Charm, right? Because they put it on top. Alright, now they're going to be drawing Path. Come on, deck. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Alright, so the opponent has Archmage's Charm, Path, and another. I'm not gonna not play this. They can answer it how they want. Like, there's an argument to waiting until I draw another thing, so maybe I can double spell and tie up their mana. But I like putting the onus on them to actually do something. Draw 2, yep. And as far as we know, they don't actually have the answer to the Bloodbraid. They use the path and the charm that we knew about. They got third Sanctuary, maybe? Probably get back charm. Maybe path if they're really worried about the Bloodbraid. It's a good one. I'm gonna really need to draw not a land here. Get more green in case I find an ooze. That's a good one. I'm gonna keep the green for oozes. I've got lots of red. I'll ditch the mountain. Judge, I want to demonstrate a loop. Alright, let's attack first. We hit some good ones. This Batter Skull is going to be beefy, though. So if I Pyromancer... Actually, I guess I should just pay the Bitter Blossom and then the Pyromancer. Yeah, that makes sense. Alright, in case the opponent is playing Mana Leak, I'll play the land first. And then I guess I want the forest as opposed to the swamp for reasons of Scavenging Ooze. Let me make sure I don't tap a red. Nice. Alright, so they can flash in a Batter Skull. Gonna have to be wary. And a Jace. Yikes. We've got a board going. They're at 3. I mean, obviously their Batter Skull has the potential to lifelink, but our Bitter Blossom may be able to get in for some over-the-top damage. Alright, I think I'm just leading on the Bloodbraid here. So if they flash in the Batter Skull, they can block only one thing. So they'll be at a virtual 7. Taking 4, they're just still at 3. Actually, no, Bloodbraid makes that not matter. If they've got another path, let's just see what this thing hits and work from there. Because like if this hits a bolt, life becomes easy. Kolaghan's command? Yeah, sure. I could return a Bob, but I have a Bob. I'll have you discard 2 to you. Force pitching it's a fairy. Alright, well now we know their only card is Batter Skull. So again, if they flash in the Batter Skull and block Bloodbraid, which is their biggest thing, they go up to 7 but take 7. So they should just be dead on board. Slam a jam. Alright, that was the number 2 meta share deck that we just played against. We did pretty well as well. I mean, we were flooding a lot pretty early, and I kind of threw out a Dark Confidant that I didn't have to. But this season, Pyromancers did a good job at converting the flood into actual useful things. Yeah, Path would have been dangerous, but they had to counter the Force with they had to counter the K command with a Force. They revealed Gigantha. I don't think this is a keep versus a Gigantha deck. This is much better. I think I'll bottom second Dark Confidant. If they're able to remove the first one, it'll be unfortunate. I mean, given that they're playing Gigantha, like, it could be one of a few things. It could be Mono Red Prowess without Bedlam Reveler. It could be humans. It could be Tron. And against most of those things, I don't think second Dark Confidant is going to be great. Usually I would go Blood Crypt Forest. So like Blood Crypt to Inquisition and then Forest to play Dark Confidant. But then I can't terminate. So I think I'm going to modify that plan. I can go like Overgrown Tomb on one. And then on the second turn I could get Mountain if I want to save life. The opponent is also mulliganed at least once. They've mulliganed to 4. Oh, well, I guess it's Tron. This hand could be okay versus Tron. It's got a way to disrupt Tron while on the play and a 2-mana threat. Terminate's not looking great. Alright, so I'll Verdant first so I have the option of getting basic Mountain next turn if I want. So if it's Tron, which I'm assuming it is, hopefully I can take their one route to it. Who can say where the road goes? Look at the opponent. Even if I terminated, I'm not beating the tokens. Save the world sometime, go to game 2. Alright, Damping Sphere. Cleansing Wildfire. Ashiok Dream Render while on the play. Alright, let's take out all of the spot removal. If they're playing Baby Karn, then Lightning Bolt can be good, but Flushes won't. Terminate won't. Iron 6 isn't killing a whole lot. And then Ooze is pretty slow. I need to cut 1 now. Just make another Ooze. Like, I could cut an Inquisition, but I'm on the play again, and I really want to be able to take the route to Tron. If they've got one. Nothing to do on 1 or 2, and no hate piece. Ship. Hey, that's pretty good. So I think I'm going to bottom the second Dark Confidant. I don't think I can bottom the land. I definitely want the first Dark Confidant. Definitely not bottoming Sphere. Liliana is going to be great for pressuring the hand. And then Kolaghan's Command can hit an artifact or pressure the hand just that much more. So I'll ditch a Bob. Opponent has gone to 6, it looks like. Oh, they're gone to 5 now. Four again. I would feel bad for them, but they're playing Tron, so I'm not gonna feel bad. They've gone to 3. Alright. So if the opponent doesn't have 2 Tron lands in by turn 3, I'm going to consider playing a Kolaghan's Command first since they're so low on cards. I mean, I'm definitely going to play the Bob now here because obviously I'm on the play. I'm going to have my Damping Sphere down on my turn 3 before they even get a turn 3. Let's get second black for Liliana and also first green. Hey, they're missing a Tron land. Sick. Alright, and since they're not guaranteed to have the Tron, I'm just going to play Liliana. Start plussing, getting at the hand. I'll get Forest here. Forest is going to cast a lot of the spells in my hand anyway, and then with the Bob in play, I do want to stay a little high. I don't think I'm going to need second Liliana. And I want a Planeswalker in the yard to make this Tarmogoyf big next turn. So if they play a Tron land here, I'll have to play Damping Sphere next turn. Alright, so they are going to have the Tron, so I'm going to have to go for the Damping Sphere here. I could plus, and then I'm assuming the opponent is going to be sacrificing the map, and then after they've used the map, I could then Kolaghan's Command to have them discard it. That seems pretty good. Because like then I'm also getting rid of the map. This is happening no matter what, so let's just lead there. I don't think I'm gonna need the Bloodbraid. I've got plenty of pressure. There goes the Stirrings. Alright, we'll attack. Alright, I'm assuming they're going to be sacking this thing end step. To which I'll make them discard it. And I guess I'll just shock them. I could get back Bloodbraid. We'll see. Alright, so I've got my upkeep stop set. Yeah, I'll just have them. I'll just do 2 damage to them. Reason being is like even if I draw an untapped land, I'm just gonna go Goyf. Jeez. Well, now if they spike the Tron land, I'm in for a world of hurt. But if they have to draw it exactly now, because this Liliana is about to ultimate. I mean, like, I guess, like, I should just play Damping Sphere then, right? That protects against that play no matter what. Because I'm gonna be able to pop off the emblem, pop off the ultimate before the O-Stone actually gets up there. So I guess I should run in 6 first, get back a land, and use that land to play the Sphere. And I'll get basic here. I'll get Mountain, so I have second red for Pyromancer. Don't think I'm going to be casting Pyromancer this game, but you never know. Yeah, I'm just going to ditch it. I'm going to go Goyf next turn. So the fail rate now is the opponent draws a Veil of Summer and they use it to counter the ultimate. And they scoop. Alright, still playing against the Tron Menace. I don't think I can really change anything. I think I'm just going to resubmit. Let's see that. Thoughtseize into Damping Sphere. Well, this is a hand. They've mulliganed. If we have a land on top, they can just never get there. I think I have to ship. It's missing too much. Like, I don't have pressure, and I don't have mana. This is good. Like, we don't have the hate piece, but hopefully we can buy some time with the hand disruption. It's a strange one. Alright, and they've got the star, so that means if their route to Tron is the Sylvan Scrying, we can take it. I'm going to Inquisition first, planning on hopefully taking that. Excellent. They don't even have another Tron piece. Wow. It was like, the thoughts he's going to take a payoff later. Come on, don't have a Tron land here. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Alright, I think this is a good turn to get the Bob down. Alright, and now I think we're a land hate piece away from really putting this one away. They just missed the land drop entirely. Can I draw Ashiok now? That'd be great. Got 2 looks at it. Ha! We did it. And a Cleansing Wildfire? Excellent. Excellent. I'm going to get mounts in here. We don't need a lot of green for many reasons. Got double black already. The opponent could have Veil of Summer, so maybe targeting them isn't the best idea. I should probably just target myself, because that makes Glyphs big. I think I do want to activate it. I'll just target them. Bobby, doing the work. Why target him? They could be playing stuff like Sylvan Scrying. Not Sylvan Scrying. Beast Within. I think I should probably target myself, but hey, we did it. Take that, Tron. Haha. Hashtag getting there. But yeah, I mentioned that the only real reason to activate Ashiok versus Tron is to target myself, because like you can make Kolaghan's Command better and you can make Tarmogoyf better. That said, I targeted the opponent for no real good reason. Lab Monkey. Nope. 1 land. This is much better. I don't know if I want to bottom my Ravine or another land. Like, Ravine is my only utility land, but it is a tap land. It's probably best to keep the utility land. I'll like Shock and an Overgrown Tomb first. I guess I'll want the Mire second. So let's bottom Blood Crypt. It's a very Jundy hand here. Another Mystic Sanctuary deck. Ooze is going to be good versus a Mystic Sanctuary deck. If it's Stoneblade, I like the Inquisition here because maybe we can hit the Stoneforge. Oh, it's Jeskai Control with a bunch of main deck Cleansing Wildfires. Rude. Alright, well, Remand is going to be really, really annoying. So is this Teferi. Maybe the Teferi even more so. Like, no matter what I do, this Teferi is just going to bounce it. Sounds pretty annoying. I mean, they don't even have access to white for sure. I'll take the Remand so we have an actual turn 2 play. There's the mountain. Just gonna wildfire me. I guess I'm planning on getting other Overgrown Tombs, so I should get Mountain so my mana is perfect. Although if I want to play Liliana's, I need this to be a black source. I mean, I do want a lot of green also for Ooze. So if I want a lot of green for Ooze, I think this should be an Overgrown Tomb, and this is also green. So I guess this would be Mountain. Yeah, let's get the Mountain. And if by some miracle the opponent has missed a land drop, playing a creature here is good. Maybe a Big Daddy Snow. I don't actually know. Alright, so here comes Teferi. What's up, Nick? This Teferi is going to be pretty annoying for combating these Blood Braids. I can't really play the Ooze next turn either because that'll just get helixed. I think I'm just going to have to replay Goyf here. Been busy? Kinda. Had some out-of-town family in recently. So, back on the grind. Alright, so I'm going to attack the Teferi and see if that works. I could Bloodbraid here to really make sure I can kill the Teferi. But I think I'm just going to attack the Teferi regularly. Like, if they cycle a Shark Typhoon and block, it's annoying. But Cascade's really, really good if I can get the Teferi off the board. Instant speed, Cleansing Wildfire. My dog is dreaming. Give me a sec. He's got a nightmare going. Hey, bud. You're fine. You okay? Yeah, he's a sleep talker. Alright, well, we got the Teferi off the board, and that's promising. We have Stomping Ground still in the deck as a green source for this to fetch. Let's see if we can resolve this first, and then I'll play the Mire. Like, they can easily helix this. What should you do to get into Modern? It's a good question. Remand. Alright, I'll play the Cliffs then. To get into Modern, I mean, there's a lot of really good stuff out there. I mean, I guess you could look at the metagame on MTG Goldfish and then see if there's anything there that tickles your fancy. Yeah, too many decks. Yeah. There are a lot of things you can do in Modern. There are fewer good things you can do in Modern. But there's still lots of good things you could be doing. Inquisition's a real nice hit. Yep, you could watch people play stuff. That's good too. You just gotta find like good YouTube sources. Alright, so wow, the opponent's hand is strong. I mean, all my threats are creatures. I'm gonna let him keep the force and then just try to go the creature route. This is currently a 4/5. I mean, like they have Shark Typhoons to block. Counter bounce. Sure. It's annoying. Cryptic down. Are they just gonna like play a Shark Typhoon? Yeah, I mean, first Shark Typhoon is gonna give him a 6/6 after playing the second one. Let's get some more green. Ooh, Thoughtseize was really, really nice. I guess I should Bloodbraid first. Maybe I hit another Thoughtseize and that can inform the decision on the second. Would love to hit just another threat here. It's kind of another threat. Like if they're gonna force this, then they won't have the Shark Typhoon in hand. Right, yeah, Thoughtseize was very good. Alright, and one of these is gone. Definitely gonna take their other Shark Typhoon. Alright, they're just gonna force it for a 3/3. Yep, makes some sense. You wanna trade? Let's get back our man land. Play it. Pretty solid little turn here. So, I mean, if the opponent draws some blanks, we could get ahead, but... Oh my god, Teferi. That has to have been one of their better draws. Like, if the opponent hits a land there, we could potentially pull ahead with the second Bloodbraid, but Teferi is going to make that really difficult. Not great. I mean, I could Inquisition first. Is there any reason to do that? Probably not. Because, like, we can play another thing if we don't cast the Inquisition now. Yeah, Teferi was backbreaking. Any chance these outsize the Sharks? They actually outsize the Sharks for now. Hold the Inquisition for later. Help you out with like choosing a deck. I would love to wish that the opponent draws blanks from here, but drawing two cards a turn makes that a lot harder. Oh, renting pieces? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I mean, I don't fly. Brutal. I mean, I guess the opponent's got to have a Cryptic in hand, right? To fog us. That's got to be what they're looking to do here, or else we have a huge hit. They're forcing pitching a card. Interesting. I mean, my guess would still be Cryptic. Alright, so I mean, I'll go to the beginning of combat, and then if they let me attack them, I can terminate the token. They have to have a way to remove a Tarmogoyf or they die. I mean, that seems to be like my only way to win this. Like, it could be another Shark Typhoon. That would be unfortunate. I mean, let's just go on the attack and see if we can manage something. But I mean, like, force pitching something is really strange to me. Ah, it's a Snapcaster. Snapcaster Cryptic. Jeskai. Ashiok. Haunt Master. This might be an okay Soul Guide Lantern matchup. Like, against matchups like these, I really wish they were Spell Bombs. Brutality seems like it's going to be good. Bitter Blossom seems like it's going to be good. Fatal Push is looking lackluster, as is Terminate. Liliana's a little weaker versus the Shark Typhoon plan. They're playing lots of red removal, so Goyf is good versus those, but they'll be worse versus Path. Maybe I should just be cutting these bolts as well. It leaves me soft to the creature plan. But I mean, bolt's not killing the sharks anyway. It can kill planeswalkers, which could turn on my other stuff, like the blood braids. But other than that specific job, the bolts don't look that good. Let's just cut them. Yeah, sure. I think I'm just going to go Overgrown Tomb tapped on one. Yeah. Hey, the opponent mulliganed. Very nice. So, given that the opponent is a Lightning Helix deck, maybe I should be playing this Renin 6 here on turn 2. Because if I play the Bob and they kill it immediately, it's kind of a tempo loss. I mean, it's still a 1-for-1. But Renin 6 is the harder card to actually answer. Then I'm going to use the fetch here because assuming this resolves, I want to be able to get something back. Like, they could force this, but I'm okay with the 2-for-1 this early. If it's a Spell Snare, then it really didn't matter what I did here. Cool. Played a Flagstones. Oh, they get to like rampant growth with their Flagstones and the removal, right? The Cleansing Wildfire. Second Liliana is interesting. That makes me more confident to just slam the first one into play, which I kind of like. I have all my shocks in play, so if I want to get basics, if I want to get lands to fetch, I actually have to get basics, which is a little on the awkward side. But I do want to have something to get back with the Ren. Gust it? That's fine. Doesn't matter where I put it, it's getting shuffled. I'll get Forest. We got plenty of black mana. So as long as they don't have a force here, I like this resolving. Just snap resolves. Do I want third black or third green? Or sorry, second red. I have Seasoned Pyromancer in the deck, so I'm really gonna value this red. Let's ditch a tomb. Like, the downside is if I draw a black spell that I want to pair with the second Liliana at some point, I can't. Oh yeah, and they did board into it, so they looks like they do have the Madcap Experiment package. It's worse versus the Lilianas, that's for sure. Actually have a way to remove it. Ooh, that was a good one. So the option that I have now is, do I want to play 2 creatures, Dark Confidant and Goyf, or do I want to play Bloodbraid? I think I'm gonna play the 2 creatures because next turn is their Cryptic Command turn, and Bloodbraid is the perfect play to play into something like that. So regardless, I'm definitely gonna plus first, and now I'll pitch second Liliana. Like I may want to keep second Liliana in case they've got something like a Celestial Purge, but I really want to double spell here. All right, and I can play a thing. Like if they're gonna mana leak something, I'd rather it be the Tarmogoyf. So let's lead on the Tarmogoyf. Also, like if they have Spell Snare, maybe they snare it. Just a remand, sure. Shock. Dark Confidant. All right. So if their plan was to Cryptic now, this really punishes that play because we're gonna get a trigger off. We revealed Thoughtseize, not bad at all. So usually I would plus first, so the opponent discards without the information. But since they know about the Thoughtseize via us revealing it, oh, they just conceded. All right, I was gonna say I'll Thoughtseize first to help me determine what I want to discard. It was probably gonna be land, but you never know. Like maybe I wanted to like play land Bloodbraid immediately, which would have me discarding Goyf, but the opponent's going to make that an easier choice for us. Lol, indeed. I mean, Liliana looked pretty strong there, right? I just think it's weak enough versus the Shark Typhoon Planeswalker plan that maybe I don't want the 4th one. Like, the cards that I would consider right now are some mix of Lightning Bolts and Soul Guide Lanterns. Like, if these were Spellbomb, they would for sure be coming in. Because, like, I can get rid of the whole yard and get the card off of it. But, like, if I want to respond to something like a Mystic Sanctuary, I don't get the card. You've been shaving it versus blue decks? Which is really weird, right? Because, like, in the past, Liliana has been one of the best tools versus the blue decks. Because you can pressure their hand while you pressure the field. Really split their attention. But, like, versus all their flash stuff and multi for 1 Planeswalkers, the attrition game with the Liliana looks worse. Yeah, I agree. Liliana, I still think Liliana is very good. Like, she's excellent versus aggro decks as well. Like, you can edict their only thing and then pressure the hand. Like, I still think she's, like, C+ to B versus most of the field. I think I'm just going to run it back. Nick redeem posture tech. I got you. Gotta fix the pad on my chair again. Yeah, this is a hand. It's on the painful side. They did not mulligan. That's rude. And speak of the devil. So, I mean, this hand is on the painful side, and given that they do play some mix of Burn and Snapcaster, it's probably safest to just get a Swamp here. And like next turn I can Thoughtseize and Ravine if I don't draw an untapped land. Nexus of Fate, Teferi, Supreme Verdict, Dovin's Veto. If I don't take the veto now, they can veto my my next Thoughtseize. So maybe I take the veto now with the intention of taking it to very next turn. But I mean, if they're going to use their entire turn to veto me, that's maybe not a bad thing. And then if they don't, I just get the option of taking the Verdict or the Nexus. Yeah, I'll take Teferi. I think it's between the Teferi and the veto. Like, veto is unfortunate because it can counter Liliana, but if they're going to be countering this other Thoughtseize, then it's not countering the Liliana, right? I mean, I am going to cast this Thoughtseize if I don't draw untapped mana here. If I draw, like, Blackleaf Cliffs, obviously I'll still cast Thoughtseizes. I can't cast Goyf. If I draw an untapped source, there's the Blackleaf Cliffs. I mean, that's good, though, because next turn we get to Liliana after Thoughtseizing here. And if they veto it, they won't have the veto for the Liliana, so it still kind of works out. We won't have the information of whether or not they've drawn another answer, but we were never really beating a second. This Liliana was never really beating a second answer anyway. There goes the veto. Resolves. Ravine. Go. Yeah, Blackleaf Cliff's kind of the best land to draw here as well, because it's red for Pyromancer and black for the Liliana. Ooh, Ashiok is really, really interesting, but I think getting down this Liliana may be more valuable. So let's slam it and pray. I mean, there's only 2 cards they could have that could be answers, and it can't be Cryptic Command. Yeah, this is sticking. So now what am I ditching? Honestly, I think it's just gonna be second copy of Tarmogoyf. Even if I draw untapped land next turn, I'm not gonna Goyf because we know about Supreme Verdict. If they could discard it here, but they're probably just gonna discard this Nexus. I want the Pyromancer to be the last thing that I play. Yeah, they revealed the Nexus because they discarded it. All right. They missed lands as well. Okay. Mountain. I think I'm just discarding that. I'm going to plus first such that the opponent makes a decision without information. And then I'll play Ashiok, targeting the opponent. There goes the verdict. They didn't have the answer for the Liliana, so unless something has changed, they won't have the answer for the Ashiok either. Remand would be annoying. Okay. Like, even having drawn the mountain, if we wanted to play around Remand, we couldn't really play Goyf anyway because we only have 1 green. What is this? You got like a Planeswalker of your own? Yeah, that's a Planeswalker. So you're going to phase stuff out at your leisure. Yep. Alright, so now is it time to just get this Liliana down, this Ashiok down again? I think I really like getting this Ashiok down, but I also really like putting pressure into play to threaten the Teferi. Yeah, I think I really, really want to get this Tarmogoyf down. If that's the plan, then what am I discarding? Yes, they can wait for that Teferi, but they have to minus to do it. I mean, I'm going to plus first such that they have to make a decision now. We've even got the ultimate in the queue. So I think I'm just discarding this Tomb here. I think it was the Madcap. Discarded an Aether Gust. I could even just Pyromancer here to really pressure this Teferi, but I don't think it's worth it. I think just having the other 2 cards in my hand is good. Yeah, and I'll against what I want to do, I'll play the Goyf because that actually puts something in play to interact with the Teferi. Because like they have to also fight this Liliana, right? So I'm gonna try to split their attention. Put him in a corner. That's brutal. I mean, this emblem is probably happening. Peatland. I wonder if it's worth it to just continue to plus the Liliana. The issue is like if they find a Cryptic Command, it could get sticky. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna use the ultimate now. Like I can split Planeswalkers and a land versus the other 3 lands. Like they've got a flagstone, so I'm gonna put the flagstones in the pile with more lands, because if they sacrifice more lands, they're just gonna be getting another land. If I put it in the low land pile, that's like I didn't even have another land. All right, so I can do like this. Yeah, let's do this. Well, so like if they keep this, they'll have 3 lands and they'll lose all this. And if they keep this, they'll still have 2 lands. So like maybe it is just this. Because like if I put the triome here, they'll just sacrifice the lands. They'll still have 2 lands, 2 planeswalkers. So maybe I put like the flagstones with the walkers. Now if they keep the lands. So like if I do this, if they keep the lands, they'll still have 2 walkers and the flagstones. But if they keep the walker and the flagstones, they'll have 2 lands. So like the question is, do I want it to be just the walkers versus the lands, or do I want to put the flagstones with the walkers? I think if I put the flagstones over here, it like virtually guarantees that I get rid of the walkers, which seems like a big deal. Yeah, let's try to get rid of the walkers. Play Ashiok first. Well, I control the effect that makes them search with flagstones, so they would still get to search. Oh no, they control the flagstones. It's not this build. Yeah, I think you're right. They would not have gotten to search. I think you were right. I think I just convinced you that I was right, but I think you're right. Because the card is still theirs. But yeah, now I'll get the Ashiok down anyway. I'm gonna have to be careful now of the madcap experiment. Alright, they've got it. Yeah, like I make them sacrifice the land, but the land is what's making them search, and they control that. So I think they would actually not be able to search. Like I could be wrong though. All right, well their life total can no longer change. So I'm gonna have to find another Liliana or a Kolagon's Command. I mean, I've got the Pyromancer to dig for it, but I think I should play Renin 6 Tarmogoyf first. Oops, not what I wanted. I'm going to play Goyf first. I mean, if I go down to 16, then the Platinum Empyrean actually gets to kill me in 2 hits, but I like getting the Walker down even at all. So yeah, had I played the Ashiok first, I could have given them a land with I could have given them the flagstones, and they would not have been able to search. So I think that would have been better. I mean, so yeah, I need to find a Kolagon's Command or another copy of Liliana. There are 2 of each, I believe. Does this have trample? No. Yeah, maybe I should have just put Island with the walkers. Have them have 1 less land too. Yeah, like knowing the opponent is on Madcap Experiment means I should probably have prioritized getting him under 3 lands. So yeah, that could be a game losing mistake. Yeah, it's a good consideration, but like if they're gonna kill this, like I think I'm okay with that at this point. Like it's already kind of done the damage. Like if they're gonna kill a planeswalker as opposed to one of my creatures, I'm happy with that. But yeah. In hindsight, I do like playing the Ashiok before the emblem. Ultimate, not emblem. Assuming this Pyromancer resolves, we've got a few looks at our 4-outer here. I still think it was correct to take out the Terminate. Liliana more questionable, as we discussed. I guess the opponent's thinking about if they should be attacking a walker here. Are they? No, they're going at me. I kind of like blocking. Reason being is if they go at me another time, and they can like get a single blocker out of the way, I do just die. It's unfortunate, but I think I'm throwing this under the bus. Don't think this is going to resolve. Do I want to play the Ruin Tomb untapped? If I draw 3-mana play like the Liliana or the Kolaghan's Command, I can't actually... If I draw Kolaghan's Command, I won't be able to cast it. Because I'm tapping all of my red for this. Like I can get back Mountain and do it that way. Yeah, I'm just not going to play this consciously. This Pyromancer is going to do a lot of time buying. Like its tokens are also going to block twice, ideally. Gust it. I think I won it. That doesn't really mean a whole lot other than they draw another card. I don't think so, Big Daddy Snow. I really want to be casting this thing, I think. Same play as last time. Kolaghan's command, please. Goif. I mean, if we can find Kolaghan's Commander Liliana, we're still in this. But if we don't, we're in the doghouse. Yeah, if it doesn't resolve, we would just lose. Alright, jump again, I guess. Alright, so we need it now. I mean, we've got Peatland to look at it again. We got a Ravine in case we really brick. Come on, Kolaghan's command. 2 out of 40, got 5%. I guess 10% if we're also looking for our other Liliana. 2 looks. Yeah, that anger being an anger is also pretty brutal because we don't actually have the Pyromancer to get tokens now either. We've got a lot of pretty decent draws here. Come on, Kolaghan's command. It could be a Kolaghan's command. Liliana would be good too. It's not going to be a land, that's for sure. Liliana would be best case here, unless they've got Snapcaster. We've got some good ones. I mean, even another creature buys us some time. Time is a commodity we're interested in, at least as far as now is concerned. Alright. Yikes. Damn. The other Platinum Empyrean, jeez. Don't draw removal, please. Come on, Kolaghan's command. Still digging. Get us out of double bolt range if possible. Come on, opponent. Leave the Blood Braid for if we hit the Kolaghan's command. Even Liliana still does it. Alright. Let's see if it sticks. I mean, now we also lose to Shark Typhoon, so the odds this actually works are pretty low. Any counterspell also does it. Yeah, we lose. So yeah, we had an alternate line that I think was actually a mistake by me. Where when on the Liliana ultimate turn, I could have made the piles a little differently and or played Ashiok first. Because I'm fairly certain they would not get to search off of their flagstones if I've got the Ashiok in play, even if it's off of my Liliana emblem, because it's their lands that they control that causes the search. Like, Liliana, like, started the chain of events, but it's still their effect. So yeah, maybe that outcome is different, because they cast their Madcap Experiment the turn right after the emblem. Because, like, they had 4 lands in play, because I let them have their 4 lands. So yeah, it's interesting. I think I'd be more enticed to put a land with the Planeswalkers if I had a creature in play, because like I just really didn't want them keeping the Planeswalkers, so I heavily outweighed them. Probably being a little too scared of them. Sounds good. I'll get a Blood Crypt, I guess. Another Flooded Strand. Bitter Blossom isn't good there. I mean, it blocks once a turn, right? Other than that, no. Yeah, Lizard. I mean, 1-card combos are good. But yeah, Bitter Blossom would have been good there, just because it blocks every single turn. Lets us actually find the Kolaghan's command at some point. I mean, we're losing a life every iteration. Alright, so Flooded Strand, Watery Grave, Inquisition. Not really sure what that could mean. It could be Inverter. I saw that pretty recently. Gonna need another land here, clearly. Come on, land. Untapped land. Boom. Well, I can cast it. I could cast it off of the Nurturing Peatland, which means I would be able to hold up Lightning Bolt. But I think I'm just gonna save the life here. I don't think I'm gonna need to bolt anything right now. It's like Grixis Shadow or something? I'm not sure. I mean, Snapcaster and Seagate Stormcaller are definitely the most scary cards, but Kolaghan's Command tends to be the best card they've got against me, so I'll just take that. Like, they can Seagate and Thought Scour themselves for a 2-for-1. Hopefully that gives me a window to Liliana. Yeah, like if I take a creature here, they'll just Kolaghan's Command it back, so I think it's for sure Kolaghan's Command there. Clearly, though, land would have been important. There we go. If I Liliana minus, they're just going to bolt it dead. But I mean, otherwise, what am I doing? I'm just bolting this. I mean, I could just accept the 2-for-1. They kind of have to use the bolt now. Unless they want me to start plussing again. It's not the best use of this. Like, if I were scared of like a Gurmag Angler or something, maybe I don't do this, but I've got the Terminate for the Angler. So this seems fine. Another K command. Brutal. They got a Stormcaller back. Alright, well, land is good. We can start hopefully chaining Blood Braids. I got second green here. Forest is going to be... Basic Force is going to be awkward because I can't cast either of these in the same turn off of them. But I like saving life versus the burn deck, basically. And I need second green for oozes and the like. Alright, so I would love to hit like a Tarmogoyf here. Ooze is good too. That's a lightning rod, especially with the Snapcaster and the Seagate Stormcaller that we know about. I mean, we've got some burst damage here. We might be able to swing a race. Jund versus Jeskai. Well, Jund versus Grixis now. Yeah, Jeskai last turn. Jeskai last game. Like bolt both things. Yeah, Seagate Stormcaller not caring about the card being in their yard is pretty cool. Get back a K command. Brutal. A little late. I guess I'm just going to Blood Braid again. Not bad. I think I'm just going to ditch my removal spells. Like, all of their creatures are just 2/1s. Opponent says, man, what a hit. It's a good one. Drew a Kolaghan's Command of our own. Solid. And, like, we know about the opponent drawing a Kolaghan's Command. But they've already got a Stormcaller in the yard. Let's just attack. Yeah. Block is not super surprising here. I agree, Lizard. Oh, they're casting Inquisition? No fair. Alright, there goes Kolaghan's Command. Well, as far as their creature plan is concerned, X1 seem to brick them quite a bit, huh? Just like everything they have is an X1. I mean, if I keep drawing them, I'm going to keep slamming them. Oh my god. Sure. Alright. Bitter Blossom seems really good versus this opponent. Soul Guide Lantern seems like it could be okay. Again, I would really have liked this to be a Nihil Spellbomb here. I don't think I want lots of spot removal for their X1s. Usually I like cutting Inquisitions and Thoughtseizes, but versus the Snapcaster or Kolaghan's Command deck, taking either one of those seems really, really strong. Liliana definitely weaker versus the burn plan, versus the burn and Snapcaster plan. I think I definitely want these. Let's take out Terminate. And 3 more, jeez. It's like it's not even crazy to take out a land versus against a deck that's likely to take us long, but it's so hard to do that with 5 4-drops in the deck. Maybe on the draw I should take out the Bobs. It just seems wrong. I mean, I kind of want to take out all the Lilianas experimentally. Like, the opponent could be playing Gurmag Angler, and in the event that they are, we're taking out Liliana and the Terminate, but they thought scoured themselves a bunch, and we saw a lot of their deck, and they didn't have any of that. I kind of like cutting them, just to see how that goes. Maybe we can cut like 1 Dark Confidant as well. I could definitely see taking out all of the Lilianas being a mistake, but let's give it a shot. What do the things next to your name mean? The first symbol means you're a 1-month subscriber, and also that you're a founder, which means you were within my first 10 subscribers. And the little crown is for Prime Gaming. It means you have a Amazon account linked to your Twitch. I'm gonna bottom a push here. I think Ashiok's gonna be good. I don't want to bottom any of my best cards in the matchup, so let's just bottom another spot removal spells. Yeah, I'm a pretty small streamer, so I'm not like overflowing with subs, you know. It makes me appreciate each one a little bit more though. So thanks for subbing. Blackleaf Cliffs? No. I mean, it's another good one, assuming we get there. Land, please. Oh, damn it. Alright, well, it's a card we can cast. I don't know. I'm just not that cool, I guess. Alright, and they actually do have the dove creatures. Let's take a Kolaghan's Command, I guess. The opponent's hand is quite good, and I'm scared of this Tasigur. There we go. So, this might be a good time to Ashiok, just because there's no guarantee it even resolves after this turn. They've got Drown as a counter spell. We've got 2 cards in our yard. I think them being so graveyard centric means that this is an okay time to try to get this down. They might just cryptic it, which would be unfortunate. But I mean we know they've got it. I'm not going to do nothing. I could hold up a Kolaghan's Command, but there's just no value to be had off of it. Cryptic's right here. We saw it off of the Inquisition. It just wasn't a legal target, which is probably why you didn't see it. It was faded out when we looked at their hand. Why did Klothys get caught from Jund? I honestly don't think it was ever that good in Jund. It's just really, really slow. Like, it's got its good matchups, but almost every card's got its good matchups. Like, in the matchups where it's good, like, our Jund wasn't necessarily lacking. I think we're going to be pretty hard-pressed to win from this point. Yeah, like, it's good in, like, stuff like the Mirror. It would be good versus this opponent, for example. But it's all like fringe stuff that you expect to have an okay matchup against anyway. Come on, deck. Remember how I said I didn't want to cut a land because of all this top end? There it is. I didn't cut a land. Alright, so on the play, Liliana does get much better. Don't think I want the Terminate. I think Liliana's probably enough. It gets awkward if I try to Edict them and they like flash in a Snapcaster and basically fade it. If these were spell bombs, I wouldn't be taking them out, but I think as is, I will. If I'm taking out one between Inquisition and Thoughtseize, Thoughtseize hits Cryptic, which we know the opponent is playing, but they are kind of a burn deck, so it's a little dangerous. What does push kill besides Snapcaster? Nothing super high value. We could cut those. I like that idea. Like, it kills Snapcaster, it kills Stormcaller, but those are both things that everything else in our deck takes care of or blocks very profitably. It's not crazy. It's a good suggestion. We could do this. How does that look to you guys? I think I like this personally. Yeah, you say solid. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a go. I like the suggestion. It's a good shot. We're really good at drawing Bloodbraid versus this opponent. See if we can keep doing it. You say he looks like a Jund deck? I wonder why. Yeah. Another hand that needs another land. Don't think I'm going to be bolting anything here on turn 1. Let's just get this down tapped. I did win game 1, and then I lost game 2. So we are in 3 now. Alright, let's stick our lightning rod in the storm cloud and see what happens. Surprise. Get zapped. Come on, land. Come on, land. We always draw the Bloodbraids when we wish we would be drawing the lands. Alright, well, we don't actually know that the opponent's playing Fatal Pushes. We haven't seen any. Although they're playing Grixis. I'm going to assume they are. They're at a minimum playing Drown in the Loch. Petty Theft. Shock Pass. That's not suspicious. Alright, we hit the land. So what does Shock Pass mean? They shocked the Watery Grave. They already had all their colors before the shock. So it wasn't like they're just trying to hold up something red. I mean, if we don't do anything, they're just going to flash in a Brazen Borrower. Maybe it is just time to redeploy a Goyf here. Like, I could slam a Planeswalker, but I think I want to do that when they're more tapped out. Yeah. And then if they like flash this in, I can try for the bolt on the Brazen Borrower. I want to keep the board relatively empty so that the Liliana and the Ashiok could be more effective. The Cody Hope rated with a party of 7. Welcome everybody. We've got a classic modern battle here, Jund versus Grixis Control. Do I let them attack? Probably not. Like this is going to be one of the better bolt targets, right? Like if they counter this, it's like sure, I'll untap and play something bigger. Exciting indeed. No play. Bitter Blossom is a card. Alright, this is their Cryptic Commands turn, though. Maybe I should just lead on an attack and see how far that gets me. They get like Snapcaster Bolt to kill the Glyph. But I think I'm happy with that exchange if that's the plan. Don't think I can do nothing here. I think whatever I play is getting countered. I think I'm just going to go on second Glyph. Like, if I wanted to play Bitter Blossom, I definitely should have done that pre-combat, because we'll add Enchantment and Tribal. I mean, I like just getting some additional pressure down, though. I don't think I want to cast a Planeswalker into a Cryptic. Like, if this gets Cryptic, like, Counterbalance would be pretty bad. That's what I'm most worried about, I think. But, I mean, Counterbalance on literally anything I cast here would be problematic. Just let it resolve. Sure. They bottomed with the opt. Start drowning in the lock. I discard a card. It's not going to be Bloodbraid. It could just be Bitter Blossom. I mean, honestly, between every Bitter Blossom and everything else in my hand, I think I'd rather just slam all of this stuff first. So, I mean, Bitter Blossom might just be the discard. It also makes the Tarmogoyfs quite large. Yeah, I mean, like, if I had another 2-mana play, and, like, if I drew a land, I could, like, double spell, so that would be a reason not to discard Bitter Blossom. But given that I don't have another 2-mana play, and, like, to hope to draw land to pair with, I think I'm just going to be okay discarding this Bitter Blossom and making Glyphs thick. Maybe they drew the Kolaghan's Command with the opt, right? So they put K Command back into their hand. That makes sense. Please don't Fatal Push me. Oh, they're going to drown. Yeah, that works. Alright, so they're drawing K Command. Alright, there's the land. Now what? I could Liliana Edict, but then they're gonna K Command, kill my Liliana, buy it back. That doesn't seem very good. I think I might just want to Ashiok here. Get their yard gone. Like, they can attack it and, like, maybe even bolt it, but that doesn't seem tragic. Like, if they attack it and then Kolaghan's Command to finish it off, like, that's fine. I mean, I could just Bloodbraid here. Like, I have so many really good Bloodbraid hits that it's probably worth it to just get the Bloodbraid in. If I don't hit removal for the Seagate Oracle, I think I'm just not going to attack because I don't want them to give them something good to buy back. But, like, if I hit, like, a Renin 6, I'm obviously not, I'm going to use it. Just to see what it hits. Bolt. Sure. Alright, so they're drawing Kolaghan's Command now. And this only copies things that cost 2 or less. So they can't copy a Kolaghan's Command. That would be really, really good. That's actually a pretty good one, because we can pair that with the Planeswalker. I think no matter what, we should be attacking first, though. See if we can evoke something. Like, they might just Kolaghan's Command and not take damage. Like, if they have me discard here, which I don't think they will, I could just discard the Inquisition. Get back your Stormcaller. Now we can Inquisition that unless there's something better. Wow. Alright, so we actually knew about Petty Theft from a while ago. I think I'm going to take the Seagate Stormcaller. Ashiok can make their Planeswalkers look a lot worse. Sorry, their Snapcaster look a lot worse. Like, they can opt and snap off of the opt. Opt off of the snap, I mean. But Seagate Stormcaller can do it all pretty well. Alright, so let's Ashiok here. Yeah, if I Liliana plus, I have to discard the Ashiok, and then they're just going to Petty Theft me anyway. I think I like this play. They might just Petty Theft me too, but I don't like having nothing in my hand after them Petty Thefting a Liliana. That seems bad. Lava Man. We hit another Seagate and a Kolaghan's Command. Not bad. All right, well, that doesn't look very good in the face of Ashiok. I could minus again, but then they could bolt my thing, which would be unfortunate. If I Liliana minus, like I could kill the Grim, but they might also just like sacrifice a Snapcaster. What they might do is opt and just like flash in a 3/1 Brazen Borrower, which would be another reason not to minus the Ashiok, because then they could just attack it for 3. So yeah, I'm not going to minus the Ashiok unless something stupid happens. So the question is, do I want to Liliana or do I want to Goyf? If I Goyf, I could block creatures, but they could still just Petty Theft it. It's close. Like, if I go Liliana, Edict you, they're just going to like opt, snap, opt, sacrifice a Lavamancer, and then have a Snapcaster versus my 2 walkers. That doesn't seem great. I'm going to Goyf. And like, also I could like Peatland at the end step. Yeah, let's just do that. And we'll Peatland at the end step. And if they Petty Theft this, that means they're not opt, snap, opting. I mean, opt, snapped, opt, snap, opt seems like it's going to be really good. They bottomed with the first opt. Yep, now I get to attack Ashiok. Makes some sense. Maybe I shouldn't sacrifice Peatland, because if I draw a land, I can play both my spells next turn. Yeah. It's not looking good, though. Wildfire. Sure. Gotta get second mountain in case I find a Pyromancer. That's a good one. I mean, they've got a card in their yard. So adding one more means that Lava Man can take care of some stuff. So maybe I should just be popping off this Ashiok. Probably should. If they've got a 1-mana play in response to Huntmaster, I'm going to want to exile that as well. So we'll just do this first. If I sacrifice Peatland, I could draw a land. Yeah, but that land won't be in play. Alright, let's cash in the Ashiok. I mean, Ashiok is preventing Mystic Sanctuaries, but the opponent doesn't have anything to like Mystic Sanctuary here. So let's just cash this in while we can. I mean, the opponent's got an almost full grip and the Brazen Borrower on the Adventure Zone. Boo. You put a bolt back on top? No. We did exile a Mystic Sanctuary. They might not be playing more than 2. That's a good one. I think I want to play Goyf here anyway, so this will hopefully clear the way of removal. And Goyf is actually a one-shot lethal hit right now. It's a 7/8. Oh, they have Cryptic. Brutal. Yeah, if I play Goyf, they're just going to Cryptic it. But I mean, they're going to do it no matter what. Maybe I should just throw it in. I'll just throw it in anyway. It's unfortunate that this is what it is. Brutal. So many zones. All right. I mean, if you're gonna let me draw them, I'm gonna cast them. Ren and 6. Goyf, also good. Still a one-shot. Woof. So if I attack, they're kind of forced to block. And if they don't, they die to bolt. I mean, they don't know that we're not playing a bunch of bolts, but I still like attacking. I think we're dead. So if I Ren in 6 and minus to kill something, the Grim Lavamancer just gets to finish it off. I mean, if I Liliana minus, they'll sacrifice, I guess, like Snapcaster. They get to attack me down to 5. I'm very behind. I think I have to Liliana just from the perspective of mana efficiency, because like next turn I might need to Ren in 6 to kill something and do something else. Feels really, really bad, but I have to do this. Jeez. Alright, well, in the top decor, the opponent had triple Cryptic. Kind of hard to beat. I don't know that there's anything we could have done there other than just having access to other cards. Like I mentioned wanting Nile Spellbomb in many different spots. Like I think in every match so far I've said, oh, I wish this was a Nile Spellbomb. Just like the not targeting is the main reason why I didn't do that decision in deck building. I guess I might want to push something on my first turn, so I'll play the Bloodstained Mire. Yeah, let's just do that. Kind of close. Like, if I had a 2-mana play, then I think I definitely want to play the Mire first, because I want to be able to kill it and then untap and play my 2-mana thing, but I don't have a 2-mana thing, so it's a little less clear. We got basic Swamp. Let's look at Stomping Ground. No, that's stupid. Because I want to be able to Ravine on turn 2, and that means I can't Liliana on 3 if I have 2 non-black sources, so let's get the Tomb. Like, I can push off of this if I want to. More lands, not great. Come on, Moto. I believe in you. Alright, there we go. Okay. Jeez. Alright, everyone cross your fingers. No remand, please. Damn it. Another opponent doing this shenanigans. Alright, they could force of negation here, but I'm going to try it again. Hey, they don't have it. Right, I'm going to discard my basics. I've got a lot of black mana. Let's discard a swamp. Let's get our second red down. Alright, well, we've drawn 2 of our basics, so hopefully they don't do this again. Kolaghan's Command's a good one. Let's plus first and discard without them having information. I think I actually do want the second mountain over the Overrun Tomb because it's my second red. Let's just ditch that. Alright, and then I'm going to play the mountain to play the Bloodbraid because I want to hold up an ooze activation if I hit it, and I want to leave up the Overrun Tomb because then I can use the push. Bolts, not good. Smack. Sam the Man 68, thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. Welcome. Bob's a good one. I guess we just lead on an attack and see what happens. And then I think I'm just going to be discarding the Fatal Push at this point. Like if the opponent has Shark Typhoon, that would be a reason to keep the Fatal Pushes. Snapcaster. Yeah, let's see what they target. Might just be a Helix. Another matchup where I wish I had Spellbomb over the other thing. Alright, let's see how they want to kill this. Alright, now what? If I Edict the Snapcaster with the Liliana, they can just Helix the Liliana. I think I'm just going to keep plussing it and I'll discard the Fatal Push. Like, they can double burn spell the Liliana, which is unfortunate, but it's probably fine. And then I'll Goyf here, because if I Bob, they'll just Helix it. Like, we know they've got a Helix because it's currently targeted. Let me not tap all my green. In case they remand. I don't think they're going to remand. They're probably going to use the Helix while they've got access to it. Just hold up this Kolaghan's Command. If this Bloodbraid ends up dying, we'll get it back, or at least try to. Yep, they want to keep me off of ultimate, which makes sense. So the Snapcaster was kind of a 1-for-1. Always nice when they Snapcaster and don't 2-for-1 you. Alright, and as I mentioned, they're just gonna shoot this thing twice. Well, I could Kolaghan's Command now, but I think I'm going to want to save it to try to buy something back and or burn a Planeswalker. So I'm going to attack both, and then if they go for the trade, I'll go for the Kolaghan's Command. I'll like have the second would be you discard a card. And then depending on whether or not this works, we can then play Dark Confidant. I think I want to do this now because if I do this on their upkeep, Cryptic Command is another card they could have. Although it would make them use their mana on their turn. So yeah, maybe I should have just upkeeped it. I was just afraid of Cryptic Command being their play. Maybe I could have read that they didn't have the Cryptic because they main phased the Lightning Helix, but they were also afraid of an ultimate, so maybe that's not a factor. Like, if their option was to Cryptic or Lightning Helix to keep me off of an ultimate, I think I would have used the Helix as they did, especially if they have the Remand. So I wouldn't rule out a Cryptic Command. But I mean, this spot is nice. Their resource count is low. We're adding a second threat to the board, and we've got an impactful spell in hand. This spot isn't bad. I'm definitely going to play the land here too, because if I draw an untapped land and the Kolaghan's Command works to get back Bloodbraid, I'm going to want to play it in the same turn. Fourth Helix of the game. They'd have been at 1. It's a lot. A lot of life gained. Alright, or we can just cast a Bloodbraid. That seems good too. I mean, the consideration would be, do I want to play a Dark Confidant now? I mean, the opponent got their Mystic Sanctuary now to get the Lightning Helix back to kill the Bob the first time, so that may mean that they don't have another answer. In which case, playing another Bob is going to be pretty good. But I mean, if they've got Remand, then we won't be able to resolve the Kolaghan's Command. I mean, we could always just recast it. So like the line is, do we go for the you discard, get back Bob, play Bob, attack? Or do we go for the Bloodbraid, see what it hits? Bloodbraid's going to be good next turn as well, but this Kolaghan's Command is going to be less good the more cards they get to see. I think I like the Kolaghan's Command line, so the question now is when, and I think that's after we attack. And then if they remand it, we'll just recast it immediately while they're mostly tapped out. Smack. 5-ball. Sure, yeah. Path my thing. I think I'm just going to have them discard. I could kill the Snapcaster, but I think a random card in their hand is probably better than a 2-1 in play. I could just get back another Bloodbraid and start chaining them, but I really like the idea of getting the Bob into play. Because, like, if they've got 2 cards and one of them is an answer to Bob, they kind of have to keep the answer to Bob. Alright, and there's the Cryptic. They could have another one. Yeah, I'll shuffle, but there's nothing there, right? Right. My 2-1 versus your 2-1. Yikes. I mean, if they're going to minus on the Dark Confidant and they attack me with Snapcaster, Bloodbraid's a good thing to finish off the Teferi. That's got to be what they're thinking about. It's like, what if I have a way to put some reach damage on the Teferi? I mean, they don't know that I have it, but we do. Yeah, I mean, if they can find the Bolt or Helix with this card, we won't get the Confidant trigger. I guess like Path works too. All right, we got our thing going off. Come on, Bob, do the thing. Reveal the Verdant. Interesting. There's an argument to holding this to try to pair it with something. Oof, really good though. I guess I could hit Seasoned Pyromancer, so I want to play the land first. I'll keep up a green in case we hit Ooze. Liliana, that one's good. Now we get to kill their Teferi as well. I mean, they've got a backup. But I like making him have to use it. I could just go at the opponent, but I really like getting this Teferi off the board while we can still do it in one shot. It was like between this Teferi, between the card on top of their library and the card that the Teferi presumably draws, they've got to find an answer to a creature, and then even then we've got the board advantage. Snapcaster's a good one. Helix me, or Helix the Dark Confidant. Keep the Teferi for next turn. Yep. Snapcaster was a really good find. I mean, the Liliana is going to make them use the Teferi. Or, sorry, lose the Teferi. So I guess I'll play this Liliana and activate that. That one will be at higher loyalty. Keep this one. Plus. I'll just pass. Don't think I want to take a trade at this point. Do I? Is it worth keeping the Liliana high? I think I want this Liliana sticking around. I'm not going to trade. If they offer the trade, I'll take it. I mean, we're at parity, but I'm slightly ahead. Another reason I didn't want to take the trade. I mean, okay, they're plussing. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Now I can't kill their Bloodbraid. I can't kill their Jace with an attack from Bloodbraid, I mean. They topped a card. See, in paper, I'd be able to see what they left on top, but I'm just going to shuffle. My last fetchable. Come on, deck. This is a big draw step. Yes. Yes. The best. The best. Draw me more goodies. Yes. Yes. The best. Wow, that was good. So good. So good. Maybe even got the peatlands to pair with it going forward. Not bad. Yeah, that draw step was big. And the opponent also already has 2 Mystic Sanctuaries out. This is another Lightning Helix. Like, kill my Renin 6, I guess. This is Helix number 6. Yeah, like in a top deck war, I think they're pretty comparable. Like they both do something similar. I do like how Tracker has the potential to snowball though. Oop, not what I wanted to do. Jund is Junding, yeah. Alright, we don't have anything left for the paths. Alright, let's kill this Jace. Yeah, another Mystic Sanctuary maybe? Nope. I guess I should have done the peatland play first, because if I drew like another haste creature like a Bloodbraid, maybe I'd want to do it immediately. Like getting back Ravine is also a defensible play. Oh, that's good. Maybe I should just do it now. They don't have a counter available. And just get back my Bloodbraid. Yeah, let's just get back to Bloodbraid now and not mess around. I could get back the Dark Confidant, but I think I'm in the closing stage of the game. So let's just make sure we get this Bloodbraid back for more damage next turn. Upkeep do it. I mean, it's effectively the exact same thing, right? It's literally the same thing. Just do it now. Upkeep is fancier though, right? It's an instant. Let's use it at instant speed. Oh, you fancy, huh? Nice. Alright, Brutality I like over Inquisition because it hits stuff like Cryptic. Ashiok's going to be good to take off their Mystic Sanctuary plan and also their Snapcasters. Huntmaster is going to be good. Bitter Blossom's going to be great. Don't think I want any of this 1-for-1 shenanigans. 1 is way sweeter. Yeah, because it's an instant, right? We should cast that at instant speed. Alright, so as far as we're aware, the opponent is not playing Shark Typhoon like our last Jeskai opponent was playing. Do I want to sideboard accordingly? I did mention I want to shave some Inquisitions because I'm bringing in Brutality to perform a similar role. They're not playing something like a Stoneforge that I super care about on 2. I could even trim a Lightning Bolt. I like the bolts for finishing off Planeswalkers, but that's about the only good job that they do. I think everything else I want to just be a threat or a Planeswalker or a disruption. Yeah, let's do this. Alright, so maybe I want to hold the Thoughtseize until next turn, just to guarantee the highest chance that Ashiok gets to resolve. I mean, I don't have a 2-mana play that I want to make, so I think taking a turn off here is okay. Let's get the Ravine down. And say go. You want the dopamine hit? Fair enough. Wow, they're starting this early. Wow, stop it, deck. Why is it we always draw these? We draw them versus the Cleansing Wildfire deck. Oh, they are playing Shark Typhoon. Their hand's quite good. I almost want to just take the Shark Typhoon because that's what is going to attack the Ashiok, but the Ashiok doesn't look super effective right now. Teferi is going to be the hardest thing to beat, period. I mean, we've got Bloodbraid to put some pressure on. While Cryptic and Teferi are both individually more powerful, Shark Typhoon is going to be the most annoying. So I'm going to take that. Alright, and they shocked a Hollowed Fountain. That's not suspicious. I mean, I'm going to slam my thing. You got a Blood Crypt here. Yeah, I don't know what shock meant. We hit a Snapcaster. Alright, now they should shock to hold up their Cryptic. Maybe they just misclicked, to be honest. Jeez, more lands. Alright, well, I guess now is as good a turn as any to Bloodbraid. And I don't think I should minus again, because then the Ashiok could die to any of their Lightning Helixes. But Bloodbraid's kind of the perfect thing to cast into a Cryptic, especially one that we know about. Hey, Thoughtseize. That's a good one. The good old no idea what modes you're choosing Cryptic Command. Looks like counter draw. I mean, the opponent could be Mystic Sanctuary-ing now. So that would be a reason to minus the Ashiok to get rid of the Cryptic Command forever. But then it dies to Helixes. I think I'm just going to keep the Ashiok around for now. Like, they can't Mystic Sanctuary... They can't fetch for Mystic Sanctuary while the Ashiok is in play anyway. They'd have to just have one of their 2 copies in hand. If I keep drawing them, I'm going to keep playing them. Nice. Reel your hand, please. Okay. Hopefully I have a target. Might not. Alright, I do. Ooh, I have plenty of targets. More Lightning Helixes, annoying. A Path and a Force. I mean, as far as pressuring walkers is concerned, I think I'm going to need to take removal. I think I'm going to take the Helix. Like, if they Teferi Plus, they're going to get to hold up Helix anyway. So I think I'm taking the Helix here. Helix can also go after the Walker. So let's take the Helix. Like they could path my Bloodbraid immediately, but they could also just like Teferi untap into the Helix anyway. So I think I'm just gonna take Helix. I'll let them give me the land. Like they could Teferi minus on the Ashiok, but that's not a huge deal. Oh man, they drew a land and not a fetch. Don't like not having pressure on this thing. Not much I could do about it though. Kolaghan's command would be the nuts now. We could like get back Bloodbraid, shock the Teferi. More lands. Alright, well, we've got a redraw. This can still be something good. Better than nothing. And at this point, if they're going to throw a Helix at the Ashiok, I'm fine with that. They've got enough in their yard where I want to just exile it. Hit a Snapcaster off the top. Very smart of me. Sure. Alright, well, Goyf is going to shrink. They had a Liliana, an Ooze, and a Bob off the top. I mean, I could Ashiok targeting myself to grow the Goyf. Alright, that can get forced with the one in hand, but that on its own will be adding an instant. So yeah, let's lead there. Remand. That also added instant. They can still force it. They actually can't fetch though, so we might actually be able to get this Liliana to stick. We also can't fetch, so I'm gonna have to shock in the tomb. Whatever they discard, I want exiled, so I'll do this first. So Goyf is at minimum a 2/3. See if we can make it bigger. We're taking a type out, but we're probably adding types. Well, yeah. No, we exiled the Pyromancer off the top. Brutal. Teferi is pretty good in a top deck war. The opponent should definitely be activating their Ashiok because we've got a seasoned Pyromancer we're going to be able to get back. I guess it doesn't matter if they're going to take me off a double red. It's a pretty big draw step here. It's a good one. So that's another reason to Kolaghan's Command now. Or sorry, to Ashiok myself now. Because we may find something to buy back. We found blood breeds. That's really good. All right, so we're at 4-5 now. We can even plus Liliana. Maybe they discard something that makes Goyf big enough to kill the Teferi. They don't. All right, so let's hit this Teferi, and then maybe we can finish it off with the Kolaghan's Command. So the opponent is drawing Cleansing Wildfire. I mean, Goyf is probably better than most of our draws. They have the option of tucking it anyway. I think I'm putting this on top. Like, I could have Kolaghan's Command's draw step, but I mean, between they get another card with a fairy anyway, so even that's risky. I'm gonna have to play quick, huh? They found Snapcaster? They can take me off my other red. That's insane. Alright, I guess with that I'll give it one more look at the top of the deck, but Snapcaster was the nuts. Gives them a threat and takes me off of red for the Bloodbraid. Yikes. A little late on that. They've got the answer. Alright, let's just have the max time for the next game. Junda's still playable? It's fringe. It's like tier 1.5 to 2. Like if you can tune it to a very specific metagame that you can predict, then I think you've got a shot. But if you're just gonna bring a stock version to a random event, then I think you're gonna have a harder time. Yeah, Snapcaster's still good. It's still good versus Jund for sure. think I'm just gonna resubmit. Damn, I wish I had some spell bombs. Yeah, there are definitely some decks that don't require much of a brain. I don't think this is one of them, though. This one... I've been playing this deck for like 4 or 5 years now, and I've never stopped learning. Alright, I'm going to try to play really, really quickly, so that means I may not be looking at chat as often, just because I'm down a minute in game 3 here. Alright, I'm going to do this, because I really don't want them to be able to just Helix my Tarmogoyf. Alright, and then Bolt would have done it, but Bolt won't kill it after I take Path, so let's take that. I mean, I could leave him with the Path, because like my hand actually doesn't mind getting lands. Let me just draw some lands. This hand needs lands, that's it. I mean, even if I play Tarmogoyf here, they're just gonna Teferi bounce it. Alright, that was good. I mean, I'm gonna make them do it, so that way I can at least Kolaghan's Command to finish the Teferi and do something else. Yeah, I mean, I think Jun's got more than 125 viable cards at this point. Like, even in recent years, we've gotten plenty of new toys. Alright, so I guess I'm getting Overgrown Tomb. Alright, so I would love to upkeep this, so there's less of a chance of a counter, but we can't upkeep it as long as they've got a Teferi in play. So I'm definitely just going to main phase Kolaghan's Command, like 2-year Teferi, you discard a card. Need to do this to turn the Blood Braids on. Just hope they don't force this. Like, I could try to play a Tarmogoyf and threaten it that way, but pretty much a lot of their removal takes the Goyf off the field anyway. So I think I like this. Hopefully they're not figuring out what card they want to pitch to their force or if it's worth it. Cool. Alright, they discarded Bolt. Come on, untapped land. Oh my god, you have another one? Brutal. They're just going to minus? They're trying to hit a land drop? Damn it. Alright, well, Goyf go. Apparition Rally? I'm not sure that I've seen that deck. You mean like Rally of the Ancestors? Alright, there's the land, but we don't have the Cascade, so let's lead on an attack and see if we can get this Teferi dead. We know that at a minimum they're going to be able to throw a shark in front of it. Assuming they care enough to protect this Teferi, which they might. Huntmaster time. Now they kind of have to do something spell-wise or else this Huntmaster is going to flip. Flipping it actually takes care of the shark. So yeah, they're incentivized to do something. Ah. Bitter Blossom's good. They can just bounce it. I think I'm just going to play the Bloodbraid and say that we don't Cascade just so I can try to get the Stefari dead. I mean, if they've got actual anything, it's pretty unfortunate. Like if they've got another Bolt or a Path, this is pretty bad. But if they had another Bolt or a Path, they might not have Verdicted. So I'm gonna guess that they don't have it, and then just try to get in for the haste damage. We would have thought seized. Unfortunate. Please work. I'm assuming my read is that it's gonna work. All right, cool. We're actually ahead on time now somehow. We're down to 1 red mana. That's a good one. Let's get the pressure down though. That's a good one. I mean, the opponent is missing land drop, so I mean, their hand's got to be some mix of good cards. Maybe like another Shark Typhoon, perhaps. Doubt they're blocking. Oh, okay. Maybe they're just going to try to Verdict again. Yeah. Out of basics. My Blood Crypt has been used too, which means Stomping Ground is going to be the only land in my deck that produces red. So I mean, fetch gives me access to red again. There it is. So I can Kolagon's command. If I get back a red creature, I won't be able to actually use it again. I think I'm gonna Brutality, like escalate it here. All right, so let's 2-mode it. Reveal your hand, kill your Snapcaster, that, pay, we'll discard Kolagon's command. It's weird, but I want the red source and I want my other 2 spells. Yeah, Black Leaf Cliffs too. Alright, so, oh, they're going to counter it. Sure. Pitching Ashiok. I mean, Goyf would be a better clock faster, but the longer Bitter Blossom gets to be down, the better it tends to be. And like any Path to Exile or Snapcaster, represents another removal spell. Assuming they're gonna make me search here. Yeah, makes sense. There's more Cleansing Wildfires. Colonnade, alright. Let's yield to that. Well, we don't have red anymore. Goif is a 6/7. Jeez, okay. Another Flagstones. Alright, Bitter Blossom versus Colonnade. There's the Blackleaf Cliffs. We can Bloodbraid next turn. Just going to boot up a Colonnade here. I think I'll block, given that I've got a play to make next turn. I mean, the Bitter Blossom is going to do a pretty good job at fading this this Colonnade here. Big hit here, big hit. I guess it could have been worse. I mean, this is not great. Sure. Yeah, I guess like in case I draw other brutality, I'll keep something to escalate. It's really close. They're not even attacking with Colonnade anymore. Jeez. Alright, so if I attack with Bloodbraid now and they activate Colonnade, I can Liliana to make them sacrifice Colonnade. They're just not doing it. Maybe they've got like the Shark Typhoon. Counter draw, alright. It's gonna be a close one. Down to the wire. I think we're ahead. I mean, we've got the onboard pressure, but they've got a Colonnade. Alright, we did it. Alright, so for purposes of the recording, I'm going to do a quick deck tech / wrap up. So we were really good at drawing Bloodbraid Elves today. And we had Seasoned Pyromancer be pretty insane a couple times. But I think that's because we played against a lot of mid-range decks. I think we played against mid-range / control like pretty much every single match this league. So the double Kolaghan's Command, the double Pyromancer, the quadruple Bloodbraid looked really strong, as did the Run in 6s. Dark Confidant also did it insanely well this match, this league. But again, that's probably a result of it being pretty good versus mid-range and control in general. Never really felt Scavenging Ooze flooded, so that was pretty good. I think that number is fine. Like I had one pretty much every time I wanted to see it, and then we drew them in the top deck war because we have 3 of them. Again, versus the mostly mid-range and control meta, I liked shaving down on the 1-mana removal spells in favor of the more top-end oriented strategy, because in the top deck war that the matchups tend to become, I really don't want to be drawing the spot removal spells that are often completely dead when I could be drawing something like Seasoned Pyromancer or even another copy of Bloodbraid Elf. The sideboard was pretty great, with the exception of Soul Guide Lantern. I mentioned I wanted to try out the Soul Guide Lantern because versus the Oops All Spells deck, you can exile the opponent's graveyard even through a Leyline of Sanctity because it does not target. But with discounting that exact scenario, I found myself really wanting access to Nihil Spellbomb. I think at least 4 out of the 5 matchups in this league. I think the one time we didn't want to see it, Soul Guide Lantern or a Spellbomb, was versus round 2 against our mono green Tron opponent, which we ended up taking. But I mean, in the other 4 out of our 5 matches, I really wanted access to Nihil Spellbomb. We played against 2 Jeskai decks that had graveyard synergies, and we played against 1 Grixis deck that had graveyard synergies, and another, which I can't remember off the top of my head, but I think I still really want to be playing Nihil Spellbomb, and then unfortunately bite the bullet when the opponent has their Leyline of Sanctity in play and they're going off with all their various graveyard shenanigans. So, I mean, all in all, this deck felt really smooth. I'm definitely going to make a few changes moving forward into future Jund League recordings. which I guess is a good moment to plug myself real fast. If you're watching here on Twitch currently, and there are a lot of you, thanks all for tuning in. Everything that I do is recorded and uploaded to my YouTube channel. The name of my YouTube channel is in the bottom left of your current screen, and if you're watching currently on YouTube and you want to watch my recording sessions live, you can do so at the Twitch name, also on the bottom left of your current screen. So that's going to be it for this recording. I'm going to stay on a little bit after I turn off the recording, so if you all are watching here live on Twitch, you want to hang around to talk some Jund, I'm going to be here to do that, and I'm going to stop rambling and turn off the recording. So for those watching here on YouTube, thanks again for tuning in, and until next time, Jund them out, and have a good one.